Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshua, HaKadosh. Double honor to apostles, great millstone, and salutations to your elect, which you ought to be. That's your brother Hawaii from GMS Chicago. Got a quick lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who better shame and looking like heathens, whose spirit bear witness that they're a child of the Heavenly Father. In the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world inwardly calls Jehovah God. In the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ or Jesus Christos, or Yeshua Yeshai Yahweh. And pretty much this lesson will be lengthy. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, um, and if you don't want to hear it, you could go watch something else. But other than that, this lesson is gonna go into the final exam because, like the brother Shakaria always say and stuff, every day is a test, which means that every single day and stuff, you in the courtroom of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, according to 2 Corinthians 5:10, man. You know, so the Lord is gonna see if you're gonna lean upon His wisdom or are you gonna lean upon yourself. You know, so guess what? We in the time of the final exam, and what's the final exam? The hour of temptation, the mark of the beast, which the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, which is radio frequency identification, also underneath the name near field communications, which is NFC Verichip, man. You know, and you know, and various other things and stuff. Even when it comes down to electronic tattoo, you know, Scripture says, "Make no covenants in your flesh." That's Leviticus 19:28. You know, so I'm gonna start off with Daniel chapter 3, starting at verse 1. It says, Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits, and a breadth, meaning the width, thereof 6 cubits. It says he set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. You know, it says then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Verse 3, it says, then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, everybody who had an occupation and stuff that was in authority, it says, were gathered together onto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. All right. Verse 4, it says, then and Herod cried aloud to you, it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages. You know what I'm saying? Because Nebuchadnezzar and stuff, he ruled now not just amongst his own people and stuff, but also other nations, including the nation of Israel. Verse 5, it says, so that means that the Israelites was in captivity at this time, right? Verse 5, it says that it says that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So he set up a golden image and stuff, which was pretty much a golden statue, man. You know, and every time you heard the music and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that was like the warning or the alarm and stuff, you know what I'm saying, wherever you were and whatnot, you were supposed to bow down, you know what I'm saying, and worship that image that he had created, you know, and this was the law, right? Verse 6, it says, and whoso falleth not down and worship, you know what I'm saying, shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. You know what I'm saying? So you was faced with death if you didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't get down with the decree that King Nebuchadnezzar and stuff had declared, then guess what? You were going to be backed into the corner. You know what I'm saying? Where your only option is if you was going to worship the golden image, or you're going to have to die. You know what I'm saying? You know, verse 7, it says, therefore at that time when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. It says, wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. You know what I'm saying? You know, because uh, uh, we were still worshiping Yahweh Shem Yahshai, You know what I'm saying? You know, scripture says, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's and give unto your house what is your house. You know what I'm saying? So you're still able to keep the laws, statutes, commandments, you know what I'm saying, to the best ability, those who have power to keep, you know what I'm saying, that's wise to keep. I would say that, you know what I'm saying, because like in Deuteronomy 22 and stuff, that's something that you won't do and stuff in this current in this current uh, uh, captivity, being in America. You know what I'm saying? You know, so there would be certain laws and stuff. You know, if you need a house, if you need a car, a job, whatever and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, you'll still abide within the rules within captivity because that's what's wise. And the Lord tells us in Matthew's 10 and 20, 10 and 16 to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can keep certain laws, statutes, commandments. You can stop eating pork, shrimp, lobster, and catfish, and crab, you know, calamari and whatnot, and unlawful foods like shark and shrimp and all that stuff, man. You know, you can keep those laws and it's not going to cause you to be put to jail. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to cause you to go to jail or nothing like that. But there are certain laws that the Lord does allow and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that wouldn't be wise to do within this captivity, man. Why? Because he'll put you in jail or have you killed, you know what I'm saying, or it'd be something that be considered as unwise, you know what I'm saying, right? Daniel 3 and 8 again. It says, wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. You know what I'm saying? And the Chaldeans actually go back to the Hamites, right? Verse 9, it says, they spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Kissing ass. Verse 10, it says, thou, O king, has made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, the dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. It says, and whoso falleth not down and worship, that he should be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Man, he was going to be set on fire because he was going to be cast into a furnace. It says, verse 13, it says, no, verse 12, it says, there are certain Jews, you know what I'm saying, Israelites, who thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon. So they had an office, they had a job that they was doing while they was yet in captivity. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says, these men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. So this is one of the things. You know, you're not supposed to worship Jehovah and Jesus Christ and Buddha and Islamic God Allah, and Allah just means power. That's the Hebrew word for it and whatnot. But it's not a God. You know what I'm saying? Uh, 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 Baphomet. You know what I'm saying? What's it called? Was it a fish god and stuff? You know what I'm saying? The fish god with his head was a fish and his body was of a man and stuff, and I forget, but I think it's called. I think it starts with a D, and then you also have Dagon. That was his name, and then you're not supposed to worship Diana and stuff, which I think that was in the time of Ephesus. You know what I'm saying? Or in Ephesus, in the land of Ephesus. You know what I'm saying? When they was worshiping gold and silver, it was a statue just like this. It was a statue made out of gold. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. The king made a statue. You can read that in Wisdom of Solomon, 15th chapter in the Apocrypha. You know what I'm saying? And actually, you can actually start from chapter 14 all the way to verse 16. I mean, I don't know. You can start from chapters 14, 15, and 16 in Wisdom of Solomon, and the Apocrypha and stuff goes into heathens that are created by men. And here it is, Nebuchadnezzar, and he a king, he a living, breathing being and stuff, and he created a statue, and he wanted people to worship it like they was going to get blessings from it and stuff, It shows the stupidity, right? So I'm going to read verse 12 again. It says, there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And this is an example of give unto Caesar what is Caesar, and give unto your house what your house. You know what I'm saying? And Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego and stuff, including Daniel as well, all the Israelites and stuff who was placed in this situation. What do? They what's they still kept their laws and whatnot to the best of their ability and stuff. And then when they was threatened to disregard those laws and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They was in the midst of a test. It was the situation is if you was gonna sit up here and believe in the Lord and stuff, you know, it says in Sirach or Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 28, it says, strive on the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. And you're gonna hear it in the story when I keep reading, you know what I'm saying, how the Lord exactly did that and stuff, you know, because they chose the Lord rather than uh, uh, actually, I'm gonna just keep reading. Daniel's 3:13. It says, "Then Nebuchadnezzar, his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king." It says, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, "It is true, O Shadrach, Meshach." It says, "Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up?" Verse 15, it says, "Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the harp, the sackbut, the psaltery, and the dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I had made well." It says, "But if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst." And look at that. It says, "Ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace." And who is that power of God that shall deliver you out of my hands? You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't aware, you know. Like this verse uh it shows how the heathens are disbelieving and stuff for one, right? Verse 16, it says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter." So when they said that they wasn't careful, they was clearly saying that, hey, you know, we're not scared to let you know what we finna tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Yeah. So I'm gonna read verse 16 again. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter." So they weren't scared, they weren't pondering their thoughts, or what shall we say and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, how can we sugarcoat it and stuff, just like how Nick Cannon tried to do when he was putting the fake Jews, the Jewish and stuff on blast, proving that they not the real Israelites. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't trying to do that and stuff. They was gonna tell them straight up, you know, and this is what they said. Verse 17. It says, "If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king." And when it come down to either way and stuff, even if they did die and stuff, which they didn't, but even if they did die and stuff, the thing is that guess what? They wouldn't have to be serving Nebuchadnezzar no more. They would have been out of their chains of darkness, like it says in 2 Peter 2:4, man. You know, they wouldn't be here no more, and that's part of freedom, you know. You know, they would have had a spiritual perfect body and stuff, and you know. So verse 18, it says, "But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up." You know, and that's what he told them. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much was saying, fuck that. You know, we gonna worship Yahweh Shem Yahshai in his face. Verse 19, it says, "Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and in the form of his visage, meaning his face, was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego." He was mad. It says, "Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated." Verse 20. It says, "And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego." You know what I'm saying? So they were swole, they were strong and whatnot. It says, "And to cast them into the burning fire and furnace." It says, verse 21, it says, "Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace." So they was thrown in the fire, you know. It says, verse 22, and remember, the furnace was heated 7 more times than it usually is, right? Verse 22, it says, therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And this is already deliverance and whatnot and stuff. It killed the men, you know what I'm saying? You know, because the fiery furnace was 7 times higher than usual, right? It destroyed, it killed the men and stuff, them strong, mighty men that was holding Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? Verse 23, it says, and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astounded, I guess, and it's the word the wah, it's a thalawa and a ha the wah, which means it says through the idea sweeping to ruin, to amaze, that is, reflexively by implication to take alarm, be astonished. You know what I'm saying? So he was amazed, right? Let's see what he was amazed about. It says, verse 24 again, it says, then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast 3 men bound in the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king, right? It says, verse 25, it says, he answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the son of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You know, so there was an angel with them, you know, and what was that angel doing and stuff? Like it says in Psalms 34:7, uh, um, the angels encampeth around those that fear the Lord, man. You know, and Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, that's what they did. And then I think it's the prayer of Azarias, you know what I'm saying? Or no, the 3 holy children, because that's in Apocrypha, you know, to let you know that the Apocrypha is connected with the regular Bible. Um, the 3 holy children is Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's a whole prayer that they had did. You know what I'm saying? You know, look, searching for mercy and forgiveness from the Lord, man. You know, and what was the Lord doing and stuff? He wasn't allowing them to burn the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Right? Verse 25, it says, he answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire. So they was just playing around in the fire and stuff. It says, and they had no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of the Most High. It says, then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High power, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. So they came up to him. Why they supposed to be burned and stuff? No problem. Nothing was going on to them. You know, verse 27, spiritual powers, indestructibility. Verse 27, it says, and the princes, the governors, the captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together saw these men upon whose body the fire had no power. It says, nor was an hair of their heads singed, neither were their coats changed. It says, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. So it was like they never went in there in the first place, you know, but they saw these men in there, not burning up. Verse 28, it says, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, blessed be the Most High, Yahweh, Yahweh Bashem Yashai, of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own God, you know. And what did Nebuchadnezzar do? He made a decree. Well, everything underneath his rule, underneath his providence and stuff, they was gonna have to worship this stone, this precious stone, real money, gold. You know what I'm saying? You know, and other gods and whatnot. Once they heard the music, you know, and if nobody else wanted to do any stuff, they was gonna have to be put to death. You know, you know. So what was Nebuchadnezzar doing? He was putting somebody in a corner. You know what I'm saying? You know, what was the benefit and stuff that was going to be taken away from you, your life, you know? Verse 29, it says, therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language would speak anything amiss against the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. You know what I'm saying? So he was convinced, man, you know. And it was like if you talk up against the Heavenly Father, because what did the Heavenly Father do? He put that golden image to shame and all the other gods they was worshiping. Just like the Lord is doing when it come down to you Muslims, when it come down to you Buddhists, when it come down to you atheists, when it come down to those who worship Baphomet, you know, the I forget what they call it and stuff. It started with an A when you get the genitals of both a woman and a man, because that's what Baphomet is. Uh, uh, Even you all, when it come down to Jehovah and Jesus Christ, man, and he's putting down these false gods, man. This is exactly what the Lord is doing, you know. Uh, I just finished the last one. It says, Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knew and stuff that the God that they worship and whatnot and stuff was the one true God, and the God and the image and stuff that Nebuchadnezzar had built up, set up, and whatnot and stuff or had before. Guess what was happening? He ain't defend Nebuchadnezzar because he wasn't real. It was a stone that Nebuchadnezzar created. Nebuchadnezzar would have been the god of that image. You know what I'm saying? Of that golden image and stuff, because he the one who created it or declared for it to be created in the first place. You know? So this is First Maccabees, uh chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says um this is First Maccabees. Just started one. This First Maccabees in Apocrypha chapter 1 verse 1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian stuff, you know what I'm saying, which is Alexander the Great. It says, who came out of the land of Chedem. It says, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and the Medes, which you can read in Daniel's 7 and Daniel's 8. It says that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. It says, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. It says, and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, meaning he was proud. It says, verse 4, it says, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries, meaning that they was taxed unto him. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. And what happened to Alexander the Great? He died from a heart attack. He only lived 12 years, but within those 12 years and stuff, because I think he died at age 32, I believe. Within them 12 years, when he was slain and whatnot and getting ruled for himself, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was trying to come up against him, right? Verse 6, it says, wherefore he called his servants such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. It says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And he died at 32. It says his servants bear rule, every one in his place. It says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. You know what I'm saying? So first and foremost, Alexander the Great was a Edomite, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the four generals and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They parted this land. I think it's Ptolemy. I want to say Ptolemy, Seleucus, Cassandra, and what's the last one? Ptolemy, Seleucus, Cassandra. It's like I forgot the other ones and stuff. It's one that started with an L, but I think he was taken down and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Taken down and stuff, and another one ruled in his place. So Salakia not having all the names. It's just something I need to re-look over, right? So You had those four, and they was all wicked and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is letting you know who the wicked is. That's why they took out the Apocrypha, the Bible Destruction Group, because it actually names names and stuff where you could also look up in history who these people are to prove who they are and their identity within the Bible, right? So verse 10, it says, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, the son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Right now, this was also happening. Verse 11. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow, because our people don't want to go through any sufferings and whatnot. They don't even want to understand that, hey, being under captivity and stuff is a time of your punishment. You know what I'm saying? Because we went against Yahweh Shem Yahshai. You know what I'm saying? So what were they doing? They was making deals, with the heathen and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And what's the deals for the day? Your different benefits that's out here in the world and stuff, so you can live an easy life. You know what I'm saying? Or to pretty much to keep you blind to what state that you're actually in, or to keep you in a dead state. You know. And what are those wicked Israelites today? These your pastors and all these churches that's surrounded in your houses. You know what I'm saying? Around your houses. These mega churches and stuff. Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes. Old Joel Osteen and stuff, he a Edomite. But when it come down to T.D. Jakes and stuff, he a Jake. These different pastors in these churches and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They're set up, you know what I'm saying, to keep you pleased with being in captivity, because that's how they make their money, right? It says, so this device pleased them well. It says, then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So our people sold out, and 2/3 of Israel, they sold out to the heathen and stuff. That's why they're going to come up against the men of the Lord. That's why they're going to try to do anything to make our lives more miserable than it is already. You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures do say that the men of the Lord love not their lives unto death. Verse 14, it says, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and that's the same way till this day, man. I'm gonna skip down. Verse 15, it says, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. And mischief means trouble, to do something bad. And what's doing bad? Committing sin. What do the heathens do? They do things that's outside the temple. They don't keep the law, statutes, commandments, because it wasn't given on to them. So they follow their own ways. They follow their flesh. And that's what our people want to do, so they could be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Instead of fighting for Yahweh Shem Yahshai and representing for Yahweh Shem Yahshai, they chose what's considered the broad way that's lead to destruction. So I'm gonna skip further down. I'm gonna skip to verse 40. It says, as had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what they're going to do when it comes down to this mark of the beast. The one world order, or new world order, It says, verse, what was verse 42, it says, and every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. It says, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, right? They wanted to be bound, not free, and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath, having sex on the Sabbath, cooking on the Sabbath, working on the Sabbath, you know what I'm saying? Uh, um, which don't when it come down to working, or if you are a cook and stuff and that's your job, and you got to work on the Sabbath, that's not your fault, because more than likely if you had understanding and stuff, you know what I'm saying, and you didn't forget and you knew it was the Sabbath and whatnot, you will keep the Sabbath. But if you got a job and you got to work on the Sabbath, you know what I'm saying, don't worry about calling that day off and stuff, because that's not gonna it's not gonna be your fault for that and stuff, you know what I'm saying. It'll be Esau's, you know. But our people willingly, you know what I'm saying, went off, to profane the Sabbath. Profane means outside the temple, unholy. So they didn't keep the Sabbath holy, but that's part of the Ten Commandments. In Exodus 20th chapter, it says, keep my Sabbaths holy. And they didn't do that. Why? Because they consented onto the heathen. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because of the benefits that the heathen was providing and whatnot and stuff, man. You know? Verse 44, it says, for the king has sent letters by the messenger unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. It says, and so what that sound like, backing you in a corner, right? Verse 45, it says, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. Pretty much don't keep any of the high holy days or the regular holy days. It says, verse 46, it says, and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people. And that's what they was doing by following the ways of the heathen. And it tells you that in Jeremiah the 10th chapter and stuff, follow not the ways of the heathen. You know what I'm saying? Right? Verse 47. It said, First Maccabees 1:47. It says, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. Pretty much to give flip the bird to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? By your deeds of doing wrong. Right? Verse 48. It says that they should also lead their children uncircumcised, meaning keeping the foreskin on. It says, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. It says, to the end they might forget the law, and that was the point, and it says, and change all the ordinances, where they wouldn't be following the law, statutes, commandments, and stuff. And that's what you see in Psalms, the 83rd chapter and stuff. They wanted to discontinue the nation of Israel from being a nation, so they had to get them to forget the laws. You know what I'm saying? And born again, or not born again, but when a new birth came, the only way that they knew was the way of the heathens, so it could be an everlasting thing. And it tells you that in Judith, also in Apocrypha, the 5th chapter, verses 17 through 20, you know what I'm saying, or 21, it clearly goes into the fact that if they forget this law, you know what I'm saying, then guess what? We have rule over them. If they depart from Yahweh Shem Yahshua, we have rule over them. And it's the same rule right now and stuff when it comes down to 2/3 of our people. They get Esau, Edom has rule over them. Why? Because they follow the wicked vibrations, you know what I'm saying, of this world, and they call it good when it's actually evil, according to Isaiah 5:20. It says, First Maccabees 1 and 49 again. It says, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. You know what I'm saying? And what's the order? Order go back to command. You know what I'm saying? Commandments. The law, statutes, commandments. Right? Verse 50. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. It says, verse 51, it says, in the self same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. So they had soldiers and stuff to keep this order in check. Verse 52, it says, then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and they committed evils in the land. And the scriptures do say that evil shall increase. Verse 53, it says, and drove the Israelites into secret places, even wheresoever they could flee for security. Why? Because you still had Israelites that was still going to follow Yahweh Shem Yahshua, just like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and Daniel, and all the Israelites and stuff who had death row placed in front of them and stuff. If they didn't commit treason to follow another king and does not denounce Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Verse 54. It says now the 15th day of the mouth of Kesula, it says Kesulu, it says in the 145th year It says they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and built altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted to maintain this control, right? Verse 57. It says, "And whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death." So in a new age, of which I'm gonna get into soon, at the another chapter. Pretty much what's gonna happen is that in order for people to keep their benefits and stuff, or to live comfortably and stuff, like in the movie Demolition Man and stuff, what are you gonna have to do? You're gonna have to sell out to the heathen. You're gonna have to commit treason. You know what I'm saying? You got the question that's coming up about what if Esau forced the elect and stuff to take the chip? Well, the only force that he's gonna do is to bring death in front of your face, or to take your take the comfortability of your living status. You know what I'm saying? That's all he's gonna do. That's the forcing of Esau. You know what I'm saying? So of course, like Apostle Gabar, you know what I'm saying? How, and other brothers and stuff, according to the scriptures and stuff, what is the test? The test is that you either gonna choose Yahweh Shem Yahshai and have faith in him, you know what I'm saying, or you're gonna give in and commit treason, you know what I'm saying, and you're gonna give in to the heathens and stuff, and you're gonna take that ship. That's the only force that Esau is gonna bring, is that, and once again I'm saying it again, the only, the Lord speak once or twice and men perceive it not. I might say it a third time and stuff, which means understanding. But the only time that Esau can force you and stuff is that it's like, well, you want to eat, you got to take this chip. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't do cash no more. We don't do credit cards and debit cards no more. No, you want a job, you gotta you can still get a job regularly and stuff. You know what I'm saying? With your certain information and stuff. But then you got certain jobs like out in Sweden, which is 3/4 square market. You know what I'm saying? They switched their whole monetary system to paying for paying their employees and stuff. They had a chipping party where it was like, if you want to get paid, we gonna put this money on your chip. You know what I'm saying? Or on this RFID chip, and you're gonna have to take it. Now, they don't want it to be in your pocket and whatnot, where you can discard it anytime that you want to and stuff. Now they want to put it inside your body. You know what I'm saying? Because that's part of the agreement of making Esau your king or your God, man. And he wants to be as God, like it says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. You know what I'm saying? He want to be as God and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because he want to know where everybody at. On the planet, man. You know. You know. So when it comes down to, I was gonna say it again. So when it comes down to it, the only way Esau can force you, you know what I'm saying, but the elect is not gonna, construed onto that, or not construed, but the elect is not gonna take the chip. It's because the elect, the 144,000, which consists of 12,000 men, the 12 tribes of Israel, the government body, and the rest of the 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children who are Israelites, who believe, no matter how they look. The reason why they're not going to take the reason why they can't get forced to take the chip is because they're going to settle for being homeless. You know what I'm saying? They're going to settle for being out on the streets, or being in a harsh situation and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're going to settle for those things. So they're not being able to fit in society and stuff. Pretty much the elect are going to be the ones who was underground and stuff, man. They was eating rat burgers and whatnot, but the Lord said he's going to keep you away from that, man. According to Isaiah 65 and 13 through 15, man. The Lord is going to feed his elect. Now, you might not eat for 1 or 2 or 3 days and stuff, but he's still going to feed you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's still going to be part of the test. Our temptation. Our means a time frame. You know what I'm saying? And if you endure to the end, guess what? You're going to be part of the elect. But it's going to be uncomfortable, like Pastor Hart said and stuff. When they make the mark of the beast mandatory and stuff, where you got to have it just so you can function in here, You know what I'm saying? Those who's not going to take the chip, prepare yourself for a hard life. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can learn from the homeless and stuff because yet they still ain't dying. You know, they ain't dying from the Rona. They ain't dying from nothing. And yet they still surviving out here, man. And they know what a hard life is. And they've been living like this for years. You know, so that's the hard life you're going to have to, really think about. Like the movie The Road. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't have to think about it like that because, yes, it's going to be cannibalism and stuff out here, And how is Esau's going to take benefits away from this world and stuff so he can get you desperate, that's you being backed up into a corner. And as soon as you desperate and stuff, and you like, man, I want to live life like how it was before, just like how Israel was complaining about the melons, the leeks, and whatnot when they was in the wilderness when Yahushua was testing them. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be in the same sense, but it's going to be in a different time, a different era. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be what's coming up very soon, man. Right? They're going to put you in a situation where you're going to have to be faced with death. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to see it's like, well, you want to live comfortably like me. You want all this, you want all that. Like Satan in Matthew's the 4th chapter and stuff was trying to provoke you, Yahushua, saying that you can get all this and stuff, but you just got to worship me. You know what I'm saying? Well, those who fall into that temptation and stuff, because tempted means this decision, you got to be enticed. Your enticement is that you want to feel comfortable like how you were before, working and whatnot and all that and stuff, and you're going to have to take that chip, you know what I'm saying, which is going to make you not of the elect, you know what I'm saying, that's the only way that they're going to force you, you know what I'm saying, because the scripture says it. Scripture says, let the word be true and every man a liar. This is the only way, you know. So back in First Maccabees 1:54, it says, now the 15th day of the month of Casheleu, it says in the 145th year, it says they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and built idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. It says and burned incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. They sold out. It says, verse 56, it says, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. You know what I'm saying? And people are afraid of death. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid of things that they're gonna leave behind them and stuff. Their children or their families. You know what I'm saying? They wives and stuff, the cooch that somebody else is gonna have and is no longer gonna be theirs because they're gonna be put to death. You know what I'm saying? They worry about those things, man. And since they hold those things so dearly and stuff, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna take the chip, because they want to continue in that life, you know. Like like it said back in verse 11. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many. And what they gonna use? They more than likely gonna use these famous celebrities and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Who still want to live that rich life and whatnot and stuff. They're gonna use them, and don't be surprised and stuff if you get Lil Wayne or Drake or LeBron James and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like a new way to pay, or they in a commercial and whatnot and stuff. In order for them to open the door, open their car, open their crib and whatnot, they just waving their hand or holding their hand in a certain position and whatnot and stuff, or have it where they got a little reader and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Uh, um, for their forehead to be placed and stuff, just so it can be read, man. In order for they to gain access and entry, they even got guns like that, where nobody else can shoot off your gun unless they register to the gun that is, man. And it's gonna get into it when we get in Revelations 13 chapter. Uh, so back in verse 11, it says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. So, hey, our people are going to agree with this chip. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they're not going to want to go through the sorrow anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then for all you chase out there was saying, there's going to, like the brother Nashaya always say, or bring out an example about you niggas gonna be like, well, the Lord did say that we gonna eat, you know what I'm saying, but you're not gonna eat by taking that chip, man. Well, you will eat about taking the chip and whatnot and stuff. But then guess what? You denounced the Lord, and there's no coming back from that, man. You know. So I'm gonna go back in First Maccabees 1:58. It says, "Thus did they by their authority." So I read verse 57 again. It says, 56. It says, "And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found and stuff." So guess what? They're gonna be trying to destroy this. You know what I'm saying? Eventually down the line, man. It says they burnt them with fire. It says verse 57, "And whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death." You know what I'm saying? So are you going to take that vow if you faced with death like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, the seven Maccabees brothers? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to accept it and stuff? You know what I'm saying? You know, this is the test. You know, this is going to be your hour of temptation. Back then and stuff. You know what I'm saying? This would be considered the hour of temptation and stuff, man. You know, if are you gonna still follow Yahweh Shem Yahshai and stuff? And if you do it, guess what? We're gonna put you to death. You know what I'm saying? Or are you gonna take all of this away from you and make you uncomfortable and stuff? Or are you gonna sit up here and just give in into us and stuff and do what we say? Salakia. Yeah. You know, that was the test. You know. And a lot of people are going to be faced with it. A lot of people are going to fail. 2/3 of Israel. That's a lot of people. It's just a fraction, but it doesn't tell you the number. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna take that chip. They're gonna give in. Verse 58. It says, "Thus did." Verse 58. It says, "Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month." It says, "To as many as were found in the cities." It says, "Now the 5 and 20th day of the month they did sacrifice unto the idol altar." It says, "Which was upon the altar of the Most High." It says, "At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised." So you're gonna have women that's zealous and stuff, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna keep the law, statutes, commandments, and whatnot and stuff, who's gonna have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And with that being the case and stuff, what are they gonna do? They're gonna put women to death as well. And remember, women are fickle. You know what I'm saying? They're feeble. They the weaker vessel and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as most women and stuff, when they put in a situation of being uncomfortable, they ready to ride out. They ready to set up. They ready to do whatever they want to do and stuff, just so they can maintain that comfortableness. And this is why brothers put it out there and stuff, that a lot of you women are 2/3. Why? Because you're gonna try to do all that you can to keep that comfortability and stuff. You ain't gonna see it far off. You're gonna be just like Lot's wife and stuff. Because remember, Lot was rich as well. You know what I'm saying? But the angel told Lot, and his family and stuff, is like, don't turn back around. But it was she was thinking about all the riches and the money and her comfortability that she had back in Sodom and Gomorrah. She turned around. She became a pillar of salt. She got destroyed. And a lot of you women gonna be like that, man. You know, you're gonna be like, what about the children? You gotta eat. What about me? It's like, don't you love me? Don't you love the family and whatnot? And for brothers, what I'm saying, that got families and stuff, even if you don't got children or wife and whatnot, if it's just other people in your family and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Hey, they gonna try to convince you to take the chip, but hey, man, don't take the chip and stuff, because you already know what the Lord gonna do if you do so, man. Right? It says, back in verse 60, it says, at which time, according to the commandment, that they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised. It says, and they hanged the infants about their necks. It says, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing, wherefore the rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died and there was a very great wrath upon Israel, and that great wrath is going to come very, very soon, man. The scripture says in Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, that they should be like madmen, sparing none, man. And it's talking about these Edomites and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's in the Army, Special Forces, Marines, Navy SEALs. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, even when it come down to you regular Jakes and whatnot and stuff, it come down to you regular Jakes. What they gonna do is put labels upon the men of the Lord and stuff, where you gonna clearly be convinced without proof. You know what I'm saying? You know, or for the fact that you have the proof of what we actually been doing. You know what I'm saying and stuff. You know, why do you either spying or you know, telling us, following us, you know what I'm saying, doing all that goofy ass shit, being fucking nosy and shit, you know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it and stuff, a lot of you all are gonna go for the okie doke. You're gonna be moved. You're gonna be persuaded, like the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees did to the unbelievers and stuff when it came down to Yahweh Shai, just to put them to death or to get them killed and whatnot, or to search for them, to look for them. Hey, a lot of you 2/3 of Israel are gonna be the same way and whatnot, you know, and you all are gonna be the ones that's gonna take this chip. You're gonna take the mark of the beast, man. You know, you know. It's gonna be known that you're not part of the elect and stuff. And then when you look upon this stuff, it's all based on your decisions. You know, First James tell you that, man. You know, which I grab that. This is you know what? I'm gonna hold it. But I'm gonna go to this right quick. So these are just, you know, 3 examples and stuff, you know, and I told you it was gonna be lengthy because it was already on my spirit to do all these. This is second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. Right? It says, and it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourge and whips. So what did they had to do? They had to denounce the Lord and do something wrong. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they was being brought forth to the king. The scripture says that you should be put in synagogues and stuff, man. You know. Verse 2, it says, but one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? It says, we are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. It says, then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot. You know, it says, with being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut out the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on, because this was what you would call I think it was called butt breaking or something like that. Let's keep this. I think it was called butt breaking or whatnot and stuff, where you'll have one that's looked at as a role model amongst the slaves and whatnot and stuff. And if he start rising up, what they do is that they take the strongest and stuff and make him look like a punk, you know what I'm saying, or make him look weak and whatnot, just so all the other ones that follow him will be in line, you know. But when it comes down to the elect, we don't care what Esau is going to do and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're going to stay strong. And it's going to show you in this chapter. Verse 5, it says, now when he was thus maimed, and maimed meaning cut off, you know, in all his members, meaning they cut off his arms, his legs, you know what I'm saying? It says he commanded him, it's like verse 5 again, it says, now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus. It says, the Lord, Yahweh power, Yahweh Bashem Yashar, Salaki, looketh upon us. It says, in truth, have comfort in us, as Moses in his song, it says, which witness to their faces declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. The Lord going to bring us another comfort and stuff. That's going to be this word. Isaiah 33:6. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of time and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know what I'm saying? You know? So it says verse 7. It says, so when the first was dead, after this manner, after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, it says they asked him, "Wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of the body?" So that's the thing. Esau is going to try to uh, uh, Esau is going to try to make certain men's lives and stuff look horrible to scare the rest of you Jakes to denounce the Lord. And he's going to prevail when it come down to certain of you all. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going to prevail when it come down to the elect, because they're not going to fear these things. And why they not going to fear these things and stuff? Why? Because for one, they'll be the sheep of the Lord's chosen that hear the Lord's voice, and plus the Lord already warned them, and plus the Lord always put us to do the different minor tests and whatnot and stuff that has something to do with affliction. You know what I'm saying? More than likely having Esau or the heathens or you 2/3 of Israel to put upon us for we could be well equipped. So when this final test comes and stuff, it's not going to bother us as much, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, or even if it bothers us and stuff, we're still going to be able to endure to the end and stuff, because like it says in Acts 14:22, through much tribulation shall we enter in the kingdom of heaven, man. And we've been dealing with that and stuff while you all been living your lives comfortably and whatnot. So when they really shut everything off, when they close everything off, when you can't get nothing and stuff, and now you're hungry, you're not gonna have faith in the Lord because you ain't been building up in the faith. You know what I'm saying? You know, you've been building up in what you had power to do and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know, so when that power is cut off, you're saying you're gonna take the easiest thing. You know, they're gonna give you a plate of food, but it's gonna be like, well, take this and stuff. You're gonna be so hungry, you're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, give it to me and stuff, just so I can give me to eat. You know, give me something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So I can feed my family, so I can do this and do that. You know, and you all gonna be the ones that the Lord is not gonna protect in those days, man. You know, you know. This it says verse 6, it says the Lord power looketh upon us. I read that. Verse 7 again. It says, so when the first was dead after this number, it says they brought the second to make him a mocking stock, and when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, it says they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of the body? It says, but he answered in his own language and said no, which is la'ah, the line of ah, which says, wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. You know, so this is what Esau gonna do. He's gonna try to scare you. You know what I'm saying? Into he's gonna try to scare you into bowing down to him. This is the force this is the force that Esau is gonna come with. You know what I'm saying? You either take my way or the highway, and it's on both ends. It's the same way with the Lord, but guess what? You get blessed with the kingdom and to rule over these devils and not have everlasting shame and contempt. You know what I'm saying? You know, or if you take Esau's way and stuff, you're gonna just benefit for a little bit of time and whatnot, and then you're gonna get burned up or destroyed by Yahweh Shem Yahshua and the angels, man. You know, you know. Verse 9. It says, and when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the king of the world shall raise us up, whom have died from his laws unto everlasting life. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? That's reincarnation. You know what I'm saying? You know. Verse 10, it says, after him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, it says, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them. It says, and from him I hope to receive them again, which is reincarnation again, because how can you receive your hands if they ready to kill you? You know what I'm saying, right? Verse 12, it says, insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regard the pains. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, the Lord, just like how he did with Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego and stuff, the Lord can put you in a situation where they ready to kill you and stuff, and it doesn't do anything, you know? And the brothers always say, And it was one that I thought of as well. How you can be in that guillotine and stuff, and they ready to chop your neck off, and the blade can break off on your neck and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or the Lord just have it where you die before the blade even come, where He just takes your spirit out of your body, or the fact that when the blade chop off your head, you don't feel anything, no pain at all, and you just die. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? What do? You endure it to the end. You showed that you was fighting for Yahweh Shem Yahshai, and that you did not denounce the Lord and to commit treason and stuff to serve Esau. You know what I'm saying? It says, verse 13, it says, now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. It says, so when he was ready to die, he said, thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from the Most High, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. Because when Esau in the kingdom and stuff, he's going to live for just 1,000 years and stuff, and then nobody's going to know about Edomites ever again. They're going to be non-existent, man. It says, verse 15, it says, afterward they brought the fifth also and mangled him. It says, then looked he unto the king and said, thou hast power over men. It says, thou art corruptible, thou does what thou wilt. It says, yet think not that our nation is forsaken of the Most High. It says, but abide, because even 2/3 are still going to get the kingdom, but they got to get it at the death by pain. You know what I'm saying? And that death by pain stuff is going to be very, very grievous. You know what I'm saying? You won't get no spiritual powers and stuff to not feel that. You know what I'm saying? The Lord ain't gonna bring you through it. He ain't gonna bring you out of it and stuff, but He gonna bring you through it where you gotta feel it. And the scriptures talk about how our people are gonna be blaspheming the holy name. You know what I'm saying? While they in the midst of the fire, so it shows that the Lord is gonna keep your spirit in your body and stuff, just so you can feel that fire inside and out. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be the judgment of you choosing Esau. You know what I'm saying? That's a judgment when it comes down to treason. When you commit treason and stuff, it's off with your head. You know what I'm saying? But we never served Esau. Esau had us in captivity, stole us and whatnot and stuff. We never wanted to be underneath Esau. You know what I'm saying? We always wanted to be underneath Yahweh Shem Yahshai and stuff. And the Lord gave us a chance to be able to do so by coming into this truth. You know what I'm saying? And all we got to do is just keep that loyalty, man. You know. It says, verse 17, it says, but abide a while and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed. And that's exactly what's going to happen when it comes down to Esau, Edom, man. That's why the scripture says that the heathen shall seek to please the poor and whatnot. Why? Because you all trying to get nice now just so you could get out of judgment and stuff, but it's too late. The scripture says that you refer to affliction and stuff, and even when it comes down to the Edomites and stuff that so-called they try to be good and whatnot, or you heathens that so-called trying to be good and whatnot, the Lord knows what's going on in your head and stuff. He knows your inner thoughts, your most inward secret parts and stuff, and He knows how you truly feel about the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? He know that you ain't about no Black Lives Matter and stuff, even though that's bullshit anyways. But when it comes down to you don't care about Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't even want them to come back into the truth, man. You don't even want that, man. You know, you know. So guess what? He's gonna torment thee, but it's really towards Esau. Why? Because he's the head of the heathens, even though he's the most lowest rank. You know what I'm saying? According to the Lord. Verse 18. It says, after him also they brought to six, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause, for we suffered these things for ourselves, because yes, we went off. You know what I'm saying? Whoever died being innocent. Job 4:7. It says, it says, having sinned against our power, therefore marvelous things are done unto us. Because remember, you got a previous life. Ecclesiastes 3:15, the Lord requires which is past. So because of your previous life, guess what? The Lord would judge you in your current life or your present life. You know what I'm saying? 2nd Ezra 7:56. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Verse 18. This is 2nd Ezra 7:56.
It said in Apocrypha, it says, "For while we live and committed iniquity in our past lives, right, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death." It says it says begin to suffer for it after death. You know what I'm saying? So in our previous lives and whatnot, Yahweh Shai's life and stuff is proof of that if you can receive it. You know what I'm saying? And it also tells you in Hebrews 7 and the 7th chapter, verses 25 to the last verse, you know what I'm saying? It clearly goes into the fact that Yahweh Shai died for not for just for the nation of Israel's sins, but also for his sins as well. But remember, he walked perfectly as he was Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? So that means that Yahweh Shai had to be somebody else in the past, as we've written in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Where he had to suffer for it and stuff in his current life. And what the scripture says, it says that uh, 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 in Isaiah the 53rd chapter, which is talking about Yahweh Shai, how it pleased the Lord to bruise him. You know what I'm saying? It pleased the Heavenly Father Yahweh to bruise his only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? You know. So going back to second Maccabees 7, just to put it out there, about one man great evil was brought into the world and stuff, you know what I'm saying, right? So Yahweh Shai was Adam, you know what I'm saying? And since he brought all this evil into the world and our people was just evil and whatnot and stuff, right? And was committing all manner of iniquity and filthiness and wickedness and stuff, you know what I'm saying? He had to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? He had to be that lamb without blemish. According to Ezekiel 12 and 5, he had to be that lamb without blemish, just so uh, 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 just so the sin offering can actually be complete without failure, man. You know. So back in Second Maccabees 7:18, it says after him also they brought the six who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause, for we suffered these things for ourselves, having sinned against our power. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us. It says, but think not thou that takest in hand to strive against the Most High, that thou shalt escape unpunished. So you Edomites and stuff, you won't have to get judged and stuff, because then the Lord will be unrighteous if he judged the nation of Israel for going off and not judge you for going off. Or for touching our brother's eye, man. In verse 20, it says, but the mother was more marvelous above all, it says, and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with a good courage, because of the hope that she had in the Lord Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much what she do, she girded up her loins like the Lord told Job, man. You know, so she was sticking it through, you know what I'm saying? She was tough, you know what I'm saying? Verse 21, it says, yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits. It says, in stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach, she said unto them, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. It says, but doubtless the creator of the world, it says, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again. Reincarnation. Or the Lord can actually resurrect you and stuff, which means to rise up again, like he did Paul. It says, as ye, or Yahweh Shai, it says, as ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. It says, now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech. It says, whilst the youngest was yet alive, meaning the seventh brother, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and happy man. So there you go. This was the lure. This was a trap. You know what I'm saying? This is what Esau was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? To to be able to gain, because what the scripture says, that they should not they shall deceive the very elect if it were possible. You know what I'm saying? And how he was trying to deceive him. He was trying to deceive him with making him rich and a very happy man. You know what I'm saying? I could do this and I could do that and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what that's gonna sound like in today's time? I can give you this, I can give you that. All you gotta do is take this chip. You gotta take the RFID chip. You gotta take the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You can have all the riches in the world. You know what I'm saying? Didn't Satan do the spiritual demon Satan? Didn't he do the same thing when it come down to Yahweh Shai? And what did Yahweh Shai do? He neglected Satan, and what did Yahweh Shai receive in the end? To be on the right hand side of the Heavenly Father. You know what I'm saying? And giving all things unto him, man. To be the rule of Israel and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And then the next under him, King David and the rest of the 12 or the 11, I guess. you know, and this is an everlasting kingdom. When you read Daniel's chapter 2, verse 44, this is a kingdom that's never going to perish. You know what I'm saying? So Yahweh Shai is going to be ruling forever, having the best of the best, just like how the Rothschilds, the Gettys, the DuPonts, the Oppenheimers, rich Jewish banking families and whatnot, and all these other heathens and stuff, and even Jakes and stuff, how they live so lavishly within this corruptible world. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? Those who die for the Lord, you know what I'm saying, or just endure to the end, it doesn't mean you're going to have to die. You know what I'm saying? The Lord can free you, you know what I'm saying, out of jail and stuff like he did Peter. You know what I'm saying? He can make it where, you still good and whatnot, even if you out there in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get beamed up on the chariots. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna have that. You're gonna see the do the clear crystal and whatnot. Everybody else that was on fire and whatnot and stuff, and how the fact that you changed and you're gonna be delighted in your mind. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna be sad. You're gonna be sorry. You're gonna be crying out of joy and all that stuff. And at once and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like you're gonna see how it was beneficial that you stayed in this thing, man. That you ain't give up when it came down to Esau. You know what I'm saying? So when Esau was trying to force you in a corner, you know what I'm saying, you denied his benefits so you could take on the benefits of Yahweh Shem Yahshai and live with those benefits forever. You know what I'm saying? That's what the scriptures talk about, how 2/3 of our people don't see it far off. They only see for the right now, and that's why they're going to go for it. They're going to go for the right now and stuff. They want to continue smoking their weed, continue smoking their squares and Black and Milds and Cuban cigars and cigarillos and stuff. They want to continue committing adultery and having all the girls liking on them and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They want to continue and, money, rubber bands and whatnot and stuff. They want to continue in that and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They want the benefits of this life. They don't want the benefits of the kingdom. They don't even think it's beneficial. They don't even think this word is beneficial. But until they see it in the kingdom, that's when they're going to be like, damn, I fucked up. They're going to be a bunch of wisha, woulda, coulda, woulda, man. And they don't see it now, but they will. They will. They not finna get spiritual powers. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going to get spiritual powers into the kingdom. And the only spiritual power that I can see that the Lord giving them is the second coming where they'll be perfect, and what comes with that perfectness and stuff, being able to read other people's minds. So knowing when somebody is doing wrong in the spirit, you know what I'm saying? Or when a demon is hopping on them and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be able to, that's spiritual powers and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You're able to perceive, recognize and stuff without somebody opening their mouth and saying anything to you or letting them know what they on. That's spiritual powers, and the Lord is still gonna give one to the 2/3. But that's gonna be into the kingdom. They ain't gonna have everything else, I don't think, but who knows? The Lord said that he's merciful. So who knows what the Lord gonna give to the nation of Israel. So back in back in 2 Maccabees 7:24, it says, now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, because remember, she was speaking another language and whatnot, a language that they was able to understand, you know what I'm saying, the Hebrew more than likely, you know what I'm saying, and what was going on and stuff, he couldn't understand, so he thought they was talking shit about him. It says, whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, so she was encouraging him to be put to death. It says, but also assured, it says, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him by oaths that he would make him both a rich and happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers. It says, and that also, which means the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible. It says also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. So he was gonna make him a high and mighty man, you know. But he had to denounce the Lord. Verse 25, it says, but when a young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. You know what I'm saying? You know, because Esau wanted to win. But this is a sign of what the elect are going to do if they face to being martyrs. Verse 26, even if you ain't a martyr and whatnot and stuff, it's still what the elect are going to do. They're going to go through that rough living and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else going to be shaking their heads while they living it up chipped, you know what I'm saying? And like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter in Apocrypha, it says that they thought not that the end of those who do get put to death and stuff, they don't look at their end as being blessed when really it is. Right. So verse 26, it says, and when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. You know, verse 27, it says, but she bound herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, speaking her country language on this manner. It says, O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years. It says, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth and all that is therein, and consider that the Most High made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormentor, which Esau is, right? It says, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. You know, so she encouraged him to die instead of sit up here and sell out to Esau and stuff, man, and to fear Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Verse 30, it says, while she was yet speaking these words, the young men said, whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. Sound like the Old Testament, you know, first 5 books, you know, all the way through. Verse 31, both Old and New Testament, regardless. Verse 31, it says, and thou, well, not the book, father of Moses be the first 5 books, you know, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, you know what I'm saying? But then the rest of the Old Testament plus the New Testament, you know what I'm saying? You know, you got to read both of them, go hand in hand, you know, keep that balance. Verse 31, it says, and thou that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, Esau, you know, it shall not escape the hands of the Most High. For we suffer because of our sins, and though the living Lord be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, Hebrews 12, it says, yet shall he be at one again with his servants. You know, because Romans 11 and 26, all Israel shall be saved. Verse 34, it says, but thou, O God, godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of the Most High, touching the apple of the Lord's eye. It said, for thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty Power, who seeth all things. You know, it says, for our brethren whom now have suffered a short pain are dead under the Most High's covenant of everlasting life, but thou through the judgment of the Most High shall receive just punishment for thy pride, and you're going to receive that for 1,000 years. And remember, in Genesis 25th chapter, it says, let the older be weaker than the younger. You know what I'm saying? You came out first out of the womb, so you Edomites are weaker. You know? It says, verse 37, it says, but I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the Most High that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is the Most High, and that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease. It says, then the king, being enraged, handed him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he was mocked. You know what I'm saying? It says, so this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Lord. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. It says, let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and extreme tortures. You know, so uh, pretty much, you know, the entire family died and stuff because they trust in the Lord, but their end was blessed. You know, and Esau's end was stuff was to be ruled over by the Israelites, which it is, you know what I'm saying, and to be tormented and stuff, because it says in Revelations 18:6, reward her double as she had done unto you. So whoever this is and stuff, because more than likely here today, um, whoever the seventh brother was and stuff, you know what I'm saying, they get the harshest punishment and whatnot, he's gonna do double onto Antiochus, man, you know, or any of his sons and whatnot and stuff, and this is what Esau got coming for him and stuff, man. Isaiah 33 tells you that and stuff, you know what I'm saying? For since thou hast dealt treacherously, thou shalt be they should deal treacherously with thee, man. So everything that you do, you know what I'm saying, everything that you doing that's wrong and stuff to the Israelites and stuff, you gotta get paid back the same stuff that you did plus double. So it gotta be more than what you have done. You know what I'm saying? You know. So this is Revelations. This is Revelation chapter 13, starting verse 14. And this is the current prophecy that's well on its way. They're going to make it mandatory. It's voluntary now. You get to choose if you want it or not. But now it's going to be, and you're accountable for your own soul. You know what I'm saying? In life, in the scriptures and stuff, when you read the scriptures, it's all about your decisions. Is your decisions going to be based off something that's good that the Most High is pleased with, or are your decisions going to be something that the Most High is displeased with? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to follow the Lord wholeheartedly and stuff to the best of your ability and stuff, and may the best of your ability be weighed where you did more to please the Lord than displease Him. So this is Revelation 13 and 14. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, meaning the system, is saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. And what are those miracles? If you want to be able to walk again and stuff, instead of being I think it's called paralytic, or if you want, instead of just, if you wasn't able to see, you blind and whatnot and stuff, you'll be able to see again and what with bionic eyes and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got RFID technology in it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want to be like if you want to be able to hear again and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They be able to hear again. If you want to learn everything in the world, they got brain chips and whatnot and stuff, they gonna give you artificial spiritual powers, pretty much, or no, not spiritual powers, artificial powers. I'm gonna say that. That's what they gonna do. They gonna give you artificial powers and whatnot and stuff, and these are gonna be the gifts that's gonna cause people to go for it and stuff, man. You got a man where his entire arm is an auto tune sound, so he gets to change his voice. You know what I'm saying, by pressing buttons that's in his arm. You know what I'm saying? Like when you saw iRobot and stuff, and you got the chain mail and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Now it'd be different from when you see the cartoon called New Metal Alchemist and stuff, because all that is metal and stuff, and it's attached to his veins and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where he can still control it with his regular brain. There's no chip involved. But when it come down to Esau, he want to put the chip in you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, if you want to walk again, we can do that, but you got to take this chip. If you want to see again, you want to hear again, you want to taste again. You know what I'm saying? If you excuse my language, if you consider this retarded and stuff, or mentally challenged, or this, that, and the third and stuff, they're gonna be sitting up here like, hey, guess what? Hey, we could change all that and stuff, but you got to take this chip. These are different benefits and whatnot. And when it says the beast, is talking about the system. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to the system, it's gonna be I'm gonna keep reading verse 15. It says, and when he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, this system of society, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you're not trying to be about this new world order like you saw back in the old times, Romans 15:4 things were written aforetime, was written for our learning. As you saw and stuff, if they didn't denounce the Lord and stuff, you know what I'm saying, guess what? They was going to be put to death. And it's going to be the same way here. That's why they bought 30,000 guillotines. It's probably even more. You know what I'm saying? And whatever contraptions they have, man. Verse 16, it says, and he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, that word mark is the Greek word charabim, which means incision, meaning that they need to put it in your body and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want to do. But remember, it says he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. But you got to think about it like this: why would they kill you? That's because you didn't choose to take the mark of the beast. And this is the thing when it comes down to the elect. The elect won't take the chip. You know what I'm saying? They won't agree to take the chip. And I want to go to this. This is James Salaki and stuff. If you hear the fountains going and stuff, it's because you got this peppermint on and loosens up your mucus. So this is James 1:13. It says, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man, because he told you what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? It says, verse 14, it says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? Some gotta catch your eye and stuff, or it gotta be some type of benefit that comes with taking the mark of the beast, where you're gonna actually consider taking the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Just like when it comes down to anything in life and whatnot and stuff. Never mind. Verse 15, it says, then when lust have conceived, you know what I'm saying? So when you decided, based off that lust, it says it bringeth forth sin. It says, in sin, when it is finished, when you had committed it, bringeth forth death. You know what I'm saying? Verse 16, do not err, my beloved brethren. So when it comes down to taking the chip, you got to choose it. You know what I'm saying? This is Ezekiel. This is something that you literally got to choose, man. This is the forcing of Esau. The forcing of Esau is the fact that, hey, I got all these things that I can give you. You know what I'm saying? Ecclesiastes 7:7, since the evil work. I know it's like Ecclesiastes 7:7, it says, surely oppression makes a wise man mad, but the gift destroyeth the heart. And what's that gift? It's the mark of the beast. It's like, I can give you this. You know what I'm saying? And I can cause you to be able to do all these things and stuff, these things that you was never ever to be able to do before and whatnot and stuff, or I can make you a rich man, I can put all this money on you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is denounce the Lord, and it's going to be up to your decision to make that decision to take the chip. And the ones who's not going to take it and who don't care about living a rough life or dying and whatnot and stuff, because of these concentration camps that they got scattered all they got scattered all across the United States and whatnot. They get tortured. That's gonna die and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be elect. Why? Because they refuse to chip. And why would they have those things? Because you gotta choose it. You gotta make the decision just to get it, man. This is Ezekiel 18:20. It says, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. It says, the son shall not bear the iniquity of the father. It says, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. It says, the righteous of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. So when it comes down to it and stuff, you know what I'm saying, you're accountable for your own soul, man. And I know I quoted it earlier, but I'm going to grab it. This is 2 Corinthians 5:10. It said, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua HaMashiach, that every one may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done or she have done, whether it be good or bad and stuff. So remember, we in the court of the Lord. Our temptation and stuff, you in court session and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is putting you through a test to see what you're going to choose. You're going to choose him or you're going to choose Esau. You choose him, you get everlasting life and joy in the kingdom. You choose Esau and stuff, you get a short period of time and stuff to live better or the same of how you've been living already and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? In a false sense of spiritual powers and whatnot, whatever they, give you and whatnot, like these super soldiers in the army and shit. When they come down to it and stuff, you're going to live gloriously for a little bit of time, but then get destroyed by Yahweh Shem Yahshua afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go to, going back to Revelations 13:16, it says, and he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. You know what I'm saying? Why would the rich need to get it if they rich already and stuff, right? So they gonna change it. And it's gonna be a new monetary system. It says to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads. It says, and that no man might buy or sell. You know what I'm saying? So this is the cause. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to keep your crib and in order for you to keep your job and stuff, you know what I'm saying? What are they going to do? The only way for you to receive money or to sell stuff, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have that chip. And this is the test right here. It says, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You know what I'm saying? And what's going to be within this chip? It's going to be a UPC code, which is universally product code and stuff. Like every time you buy something and stuff, and you got them lines right there and stuff, and when you see it, the last two lines, the two lines that's in the middle, and the lines all the way to the end and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Those two lines, they represent 666, man. You know what I'm saying? Who created that? It was George Joseph Lohr and stuff, and he the one who created that and stuff. And that's the only way. You know, they still gonna have the scans and whatnot and stuff. How they causes you to get used to and stuff. Like, well, I forget what it's called, predictive programming and whatnot. It's with Amazon Go, where you just go in and go out. You know what I'm saying? Where all you do is just tap everywhere and stuff. They function in you where it's gonna be the new norm. And then just like a pair of Jordans and stuff, everybody gonna be lining up for the chip. And I also had a dream about this, man. How people was in line and stuff when it comes down to the chip, man. It says, so I'm gonna read this again. It says, verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name or the beast or the number of his name, right? So you can't buy or sell, right? So I want to give out an example. This is of those who's not gonna want to, pretty much, live uncomfortably and stuff, and will do whatever, or consent to Esau and his rule, commit treason, just so they can keep those benefits. This is Salakia. Hold on. Wow. This is Exodus chapter 21, verse 1. It says, now this is going into, a Hebrew servant working for another Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? But it's in the same sense, and I'll give you that. This is Exodus 21 and 9. It says, 21 and 1. It says, now these are the judgment which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve. And what was the example of that and stuff? That was in Genesis the 29th chapter, when it came down to Jacob, wanted to work to get Rachel as his wife, right? It says, in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because he worked for 6 years, he saved up that money and stuff. You know what I'm saying? When he leave and whatnot, you don't pay him in the 7th year, right? Verse 3, it says, if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. Verse 4, it says, if his master had given him a wife, and she had borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. Now, verse 5, it says, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. You know what I'm saying? So all the different benefits that he was giving a wife, he was giving the children, and he was getting paid. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was getting all that and stuff, right? So when the time of him leaving on that 7 year, he like, nah, I want to keep all this. I want to stay, right? Verse 6. It says, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, and on it says, or unto the doorpost, and he and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And that awl goes into an earring, but it was a symbol that you was owned, right? So when it comes back to the mark of the beast, if you take that chip, that's you branding, putting the branding on you and stuff, saying that Esau owns you. You know what I'm saying? Like how the covenant, you know what I'm saying, is proof that Yahweh Bashem Yahshai owns us. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? You'll be breaking, even though we broke the covenant already and stuff, but the Lord is having mercy. That's why he sent forth his son, so we can have a second chance of getting that mercy again. So we could fully serve underneath Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. But if you take the mark of the beast and whatnot and stuff, you choose to take the mark of the beast, you know what I'm saying? Hey, guess what? That means that you're saying that you don't want Yahweh Bashem Yahshai to rule over you. You don't want him to be your God. You want Esau to be your God. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what you're saying. You know, why? Because all the different benefits that he's giving you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be the cause. So I'm gonna read it again. Revelations 13 and 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? If you in jail or call yourself so-called free, being able to go to the convenience store, the gas station, you know what I'm saying? You know, rich and poor when it come down to the homeless, even when it come down to the rich people and stuff, all these CEOs that backed out before Rona even came into existence, man, you know? Which you already know it was playing. And it says small and great. So whatever your stature is, famous, you know what I'm saying? You know, not famous, sort of famous, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It says to receive a mark in their right hand or into their forehead. So this is the brand. You know what I'm saying? You know? And what they say in verse 15. And I'm gonna see if I can highlight it. It says well, I'll just read the thing, verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and causes that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You know what I'm saying? So guess what's going to be part of that cause and stuff? It's not just going to have you in an uncomfortable life, but it's going to be your life. You know what I'm saying? Well, where you uncomfortable, probably can still be able to get this and get that, a couple of rations and whatnot, or the Lord, you run into somebody, they help you out and whatnot and stuff. But other than that, besides that, they're gonna actually threaten to put you to death if you don't take this chip. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be the same way. Even when it comes down to that Exodus 21. Our people are not going to want to leave these benefits. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to want to leave the different things that they're able to obtain and stuff within this current evil present world. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? They're going to be like, nah, I want to keep my house. I want to keep the job that I'm at. I want to keep uh, 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 the 401ks and the retirement plan and whatnot and stuff, these different benefits and that I get when it comes down to the job and according to this world and stuff. I want to keep the fame that I have and stuff. I want to keep all of these cars and these houses on land that I can never have and whatnot and stuff. I want to keep these RFINs and whatnot. I want to keep all this and keep all that. That's how our people are going to be and stuff when it come down to taking this mark of the beast. They're gonna be like, damn, I gotta be homeless, or damn, I gotta, or I gotta be put to death. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take me away. You're gonna take my children away. You're gonna separate me from my family and whatnot and stuff. If I don't take this chip, that's what they're gonna do. Since they care for those things, they're gonna take the chip. And like the scripture says, I believe it's the book of Luke. It says that it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of the needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because he cares about all the stuff that he has. You know what I'm saying? And this is a cost that the elect are going to count, because we're going to understand that everything can be taken away from us, you know what I'm saying? Or we could be put to death, and if we don't sell out to Esau and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that we prepared in our hearts to do, you know what I'm saying? So, just, to continue reading and stuff, about who takes the mark. And then the benefit is going to be in Revelations 20 and 4. So Revelations 13 and 18, he says, here is the wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score six. And the one that actually created the mark of the beast and stuff, he recognized it as the mark of the beast for reading the Bible in Revelations. You know what I'm saying? Right? So these devils knew. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. Now, for all our people that take the mark of the beast, you know what I'm saying, when you choose it and stuff because you want to keep the benefits of this world and whatnot, this is Revelation 14 and 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, it says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, meaning that he going to give you all of it. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the lambs. And what's going to be the fire and brimstone and stuff? It's going to be them thermonuclear fire missiles, man. You know, hypersonic missiles and whatnot and stuff. That's worse than ICBMs, man. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. It's gonna be hypersonic missiles, intercontinental hypersonic missiles. You know what I'm saying? So this is Revelation chapter 16, verse 1. It says, and I heard a great voice. Man, this peppermint is strong. It says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of wrath of the Most High upon the earth. Now, if you got a vial, right, that's like a vase or a pot, you know what I'm saying, right, and you got water in it. What happens if you put it in slow motion and you pour that water out and stuff? It's going to hit the center and it's going to expand in a 360 radius and stuff, a diameter, whichever one it is, and it's going to expand and stuff until all the water is gone out of the pot, right, or falls to the floor. That's what these missiles are going to do. They're going to hit a certain point. And really, I think what it is that it's just a bunch of energy and stuff that's collected at one point and stuff. And then as soon as it hits, you know what I'm saying, it expands, So verse 2, it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. It says, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast and upon them which worship his image. And once again, just because it says men, it's talking about you women as well. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to you taking the mark of the beast and stuff, guess what? You're going to get destroyed by this thermonuclear fire. You know what I'm saying? And if not that, you're going to get destroyed by the elect. You know what I'm saying? And Yahweh Shai when they come down on the ground, man. So let me see. Yeah. I think I think it's this is this is Revelations 20 verse 4. It says, and I saw the thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? These are the ones who didn't take the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Who chose death rather than to live with Esau. It says, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, meaning they didn't take the chip, they didn't choose the chip. It says, and they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai Mashiach 1,000 years. You know what I'm saying? And this is what you want. You want the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You don't want Esau. You know what I'm saying? You don't want this. You've been getting beat down. You've been, consuming things and stuff that poisons your body, that poisons your temple and whatnot and stuff. You get a certain age and stuff. You get your 401k, and then next you get it for those who are able to get it. And then at the same time, you gotta wait until you're 69 and a half and stuff. And by that time, you're so old that you gotta spend all that money on medicine and chemo and all and therapies and whatnot. You gotta spend all your life works and stuff on trying to maintain your life so you won't die early or die from a horrible sickness and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, your air is polluted. You getting taxed. You got to pay for everything, even if it's something that this man is not controlled. You know what I'm saying? You got to work your butt off for overtime and whatnot. And what do? They take more money and stuff, and they every year they added another tax just to take more money from from the work that you have and whatnot and stuff. They already making it unbearable and stuff, and yeah, you people want to live here. You people want to stay here and stuff. You people don't even want to seek after the kingdom and stuff. You want to stay in this vile, pathetic kingdom, man. And it doesn't make any sense. But hey, that's a strong delusion that the Lord had placed upon you, man. You know. And if you don't want that strong delusion on you and stuff, and you want the kingdom, then what do? You pray. James 1:5. If any man lacks anything, pray unto the Heavenly Father, man. Right? So it says in Revelations, Revelations 3:6, it says, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. It says, verse 7, it says, and to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that have the key of David, he that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. It's talking about your mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit and stuff. This is the only thing that nobody can take away from you, this wisdom, which is going to keep you stable. Like I said in Isaiah 33:6. Verse 8, it says, I know thy works, and behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord supping with you. For thou has a little strength, and has kept my word, and has not denied my name. You know what I'm saying? What's that little strength? Is this knowledge of the word, right? Verse 9, you kept the light. You know what I'm saying? And you kept walking in that light. Verse 9, it says, behold, meaning that you ain't fall out, you ain't sell out, you ain't give in to Esau's different little shenanigans and stuff of how he promised he was going to do this and do that for you and stuff. You stayed faithful and loyal to the Lord. Revelations 3:9, it says, behold, I will make them the synagogues of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. You know what I'm saying? You got the which it says, but do lie. The people that call themselves Jewish, that's out in Israel right now, that's calling themselves Israeli and Jewish, and then also 2/3 of Israel and whatnot as well too. Because according to Isaiah 9:6, Romans 9:6, it says not all Israel is of Israel. You know what I'm saying? They're Israelites, but they don't do what Israelites do. So therefore, they're not considered as Israelites. They're a bunch of fakes. You 2/3 of Israel. It says, behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. And that's just what's going to happen in the kingdom for those who don't take the chip. Verse 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. What's the hour of temptation? The chip. You know what I'm saying? Causes all, small, great, causes all, rich and poor, free and bond, small and great and stuff, to receive that mark in their right here on their foreheads and stuff, or anywhere in your body. Because like it says in Leviticus 19:28, it says, thou shalt not make any cutters in that flesh. And the only way for you to receive the mark, you got to get cut in your flesh. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got to sit up here and choose. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get threatened for what makes your life sustainable or comfortable and stuff, or it makes you feel relaxed and whatnot and stuff. You're going to have to really count the cost. Or you're going to lose all that and stuff and lean upon the Lord. You know what I'm saying? This is what need to go in you people's minds, man. You know what I'm saying? Verse 16. It said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Why? Because this word, wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, it says, wisdom and knowledge. That's Isaiah 33:6. But wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, it says that wisdom will meet you in every thought and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when you get weak, you know what I'm saying, or you feel bad and stuff, what's going to happen? Like how the angels had ministered onto the Yahweh Shai, the Holy Spirit. These scriptures going to come to mind and stuff, and They might put images in your mind and whatnot to have you thinking about the kingdom, what you're gonna have, all these women and stuff, and not all the women in the world, but you're gonna have your portion and stuff, and they only gonna like you. You're gonna have kingdom and made out of gold, sapphires, you're gonna have slaves and whatnot and stuff. They're gonna put this in your mind and stuff where it's like the angels gonna put this in your mind where it's like, don't take this shit. Don't take the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Stay faithful, and guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna have spiritual powers. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna have this, you're gonna have that and stuff. You're gonna be able to have everything and stuff, and they gonna compare the kingdom versus the kingdom that your flesh is gonna try to or Satan, you know what I'm saying, the spiritual demon Satan, and then his physical counterpart, which is Esau Edom, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to persuade you and take it, man. You know? So I read again, this is Revelations 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And let's look at the word temptation. It's the word put into proof. It says experience of evil solicitation. Temptation goes into the word decision making, salakia. They don't have a definition. But temptation means, in order for you to be tempted, it goes back to that James 1 and 13. You got to make a decision. There got to be something placed in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to choose either or. You know what I'm saying? Right? It says, which shall come upon all the world. You know what I'm saying? And that word world goes in all community, meaning everybody that's upon this earth. This is the test. This is the final exam. It says to try them that dwell upon the earth. So everything that you built up when it comes down to truth, well, guess what? You're going to be tried, you know what I'm saying, to see if it was like Apostle Bar, then to sit down, is your roughly paraphrasing and stuff, is your the storm cometh, you know what I'm saying, is your house built upon a stone, meaning a rock, you know what I'm saying, you're talking about when the wind comes, the different temptations, the different adversities come and whatnot and stuff is built upon a rock. Guess what? Your house is not going to fall. But if it's built upon sand, you know what I'm saying, if your foundation ain't strong and stuff, meaning this word, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to fall, man. You're going to take that shit, man. You're going to give up, right? And it says, which shall try, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. verse 11. Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And what's your main enemy and stuff that could take your crown and stuff? Your own flesh. Your own flesh can take the crown and stuff, man. Like it said, that old man can take that crown, That's why King David said that he was sometimes envious and stuff for the wicked, you know what I'm saying, because how they flourish and nothing was happening to them, and it just seemed like they was living a good life. But then he knew they end, so it was like, I'm not finna sit up here and go off against the Lord. And that's the same mind frame that we gotta have in this truth, you know what I'm saying, so we can attain the crown that the Lord's gonna place upon us, like it says in 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, man, verse 12. Revelations 3 and 12, it says, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power. It says, and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem. That new means renewed. It says, which cometh down out of heaven from my power, and I will write upon him my new name. And I actually had I'm gonna close out with this. I had a dream where I was at a wedding, and I saw a couple other brothers, brother Rala, the brother Mathati was there, brother Rataz Wanya, the brother Adanyanawa was there, the brother Yawana was there, some of the younger Akim too, like Yedaya and whatnot and stuff, you know what I'm saying, for certain brothers to know, and pretty much, and Taza Warren I think too, but it was other brothers there and stuff, and it was other people that I didn't recognize, and they was in suits and ties and whatnot and stuff, And the thing is that we was there, to make a long story short and stuff, because I don't want this to cut off on me. What happened is that I was taking attendance, you know what I'm saying, and he wrote on my forehead and stuff, and it felt like he was writing the Heavenly Father Yahweh's name, you know what I'm saying, Now it wasn't no mirror around and whatnot, but pretty much I was just sitting there and stuff because he was taking attendance, and then on he had a permanent mark and whatnot. And he wrote Yahweh on my forehead, man, just like the scripture says, man. You know, you know, I write upon him the name of my power and stuff, and that's exactly what happened, man. You know, so hopefully and stuff, that could be edifying, exhorting and stuff. You know what I'm saying? When it come down to you brothers and sisters and stuff that watch these videos and stuff, or overhear the conversations. You know what I'm saying? That's being done. You know, I hope this video was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Howard Chakarash, double honors to apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to the elect, which we ought to be. Shalom, wa ba ba ba.